The author takes this opportunity to express his gratitude. No endorsement could be higher than that of practical men who appreciate its teachings because they themselves have worked up to important successes by applying the very principles it advocates. Babylon became the wealthiest city of the ancient world because its citizens were the richest people of their time. They appreciated the value of money. They practiced sound financial principles in acquiring money, keeping money, and making their money earn more money. They provided for themselves what we all desire: incomes for the future. Why cannot we acquire silver and gold, more than enough for food and robes? From his seat upon the low wall surrounding his property, Banseer, the chariot builder of Babylon, was thoroughly discouraged. He gazed sadly at his simple home and the open workshop in which stood a partially completed chariot. His slow mind was struggling patiently with a problem for which he could find no answer. In old Babylon there once lived a certain very rich man named Arcad. Far and wide he was famed for his great wealth. Also was he famed for his liberality. He was generous in his charities. He was generous with his family. He was liberal in his own expenses. But nevertheless, each year his wealth increased more rapidly than he spent it. The third cure: make thy gold multiply. To put each coin to laboring, that it may reproduce its kind, even as the flocks of the field, and help bring to thee income, a stream of wealth that shall flow constantly into thy purse.
This step applies to our cash flow system of generating tax-free dividends, an internal rate of return of 4%, and all of this, like I said, is tax-free. Uncle Sam doesn't get a penny of it. So your money makes money while you're spending the money.
Income. That is the thing, ejaculated Banseer. Let us go to Arcad and ask how we also may acquire incomes for ourselves. I wish an income that will keep flowing into my purse whether I sit upon the wall or travel to far lands. Arcad must know how a man can make an income for himself. Dost suppose it is something he could make clear to a mind as slow as mine, the richest man in Babylon? You have become the richest man in all Babylon while we struggle for existence. You can wear the finest garments, and you can enjoy the rarest foods, while we must be content if we can clothe our families in raiment that is presentable and feed them as best we can. Yet once we were equal. We studied under the same master. We played in the same games, and in neither the studies nor the games did you outshine us. And in the years since, you have been no more an honorable citizen than we. Thereupon Arcad remonstrated with them, saying, If you have not acquired more than a bare existence in the years since we were youths, it is because you either have failed to learn the laws that govern the building of wealth, or else you do not observe them. The seventh cure: increase thy ability to earn. To cultivate thy own powers, to study and become wiser, to become more skillful, to so act as to respect thyself. Thereby shalt thou acquire confidence in thyself to achieve thy carefully considered desires. Mark you well my words, for if you do not, you will fail to grasp the truth that I will tell you, and you will think that your night's work has been in vain. Then he looked at me shrewdly from under his shaggy brows and said in a low, forceful tone, I found the road to wealth when I decided that a part of all I earned was mine to keep. And so will you. Then he continued to look at me with a glance that I could feel pierce me, but said no more. "But all I earn is mine to keep, is it not?" I demanded. "Far from it," he replied. "Do you not pay the garment maker? Do you not pay the sandal maker? Do you not pay for the things you eat? Can you live in Babylon without spending? What have you to show for your earnings of the past month? What for the past year? Fool! You pay to everyone but yourself. Dullard! You labor for others. As well be a slave and work for what your master gives you to eat and wear. If you did keep for yourself 1/10 of all you earn, how much would you have in 10 years? My knowledge of the numbers did not forsake me, and I answered, "As much as I earn in 1 year." "You speak but half the truth," he retorted. "Every gold piece you save is a slave to work for you. Every copper it earns is its child that also can earn for you. If you would become wealthy, then what you save must earn, and its children must earn, that all may help to give to you the abundance you crave. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. It should not be less than 1/10, no matter how little you earn. It can be as much more as you can afford. Pay yourself first." This, my students, was the first cure I did discover for my lean purse. For each 10 coins I put in, to spend but 9. The second cure: control thy expenditures. Budget thy expenses, that thou mayest have coins to pay for thy necessities, to pay for thy enjoyments, and to gratify thy worthwhile desires without spending more than 9/10 of thy earnings.
The 90-10 rule, you'd be amazed how easy it is to live off 90% of your income. That 10% using this system could allow you to retire 10 years earlier.
So I decided that I would try it. A 12th month after Algamish had gone, he again returned and said to me, "Son, have you paid to yourself not less than 1/10 of all you have earned for the past year?" I answered proudly, "Yes, master, I have." "That is good," he answered, beaming upon me. "And what have you done with it?" "I have given it to Asmer, the brickmaker, who told me he was traveling over the far seas, and in Tyre he would buy from me the rare jewels of the Phoenicians. When he returns, we shall sell these at high prices and divide the earnings." "Every fool must learn," he growled. "But why trust the knowledge of a brickmaker about jewels? Would you go to the breadmaker to inquire about the stars? No, by my tunic, you would go to the astrologer if you had power to think. Your savings are gone, youth. You have jerked your wealth tree up by the roots. But plant another. Try again. And next time, if you would have advice about jewels, go to the jewel merchant." The fourth cure: guard thy treasures from loss. Guard thy treasure from loss by investing only where thy principal is safe, where it may be reclaimed if desirable, and where thou wilt not fail to collect a fair rental. Consult with wise men. When he once more returned, and his face was full of deep lines, and his eyes drooped, for he was becoming a very old man, and he said to me, "Make thy gold multiply. To put each coin to laboring, that it may reproduce its kind, even as the flocks of the field, and help bring to thee income, a stream of wealth that shall flow constantly into thy purse."
This step applies to our cash flow system of generating tax-free dividends, an internal rate of return of 4%, and all of this, like I said, is tax-free. Uncle Sam doesn't get a penny of it. So your money makes money while you're spending the money.
Arcad, hast thou yet achieved the wealth thou dreamed of? Or is it substantial belongings, gold, lands, herds, merchandise, income-bringing investments? The coins thou takest from thy purse bring the first. The coins thou leavest within it will bring the latter.
What this first step is addressing is the 10% you're supposed to pay yourself first. But it has to do more than just sit in a bank. That money has to be making you money while it's sitting there on a guaranteed basis.
Arcad, he continued, you have learned your lessons well. You first learned to live upon less than you could earn. Next, you learned to seek advice from those who were competent through their own experiences to give it. And lastly, you have learned to make gold work for you. You have taught yourself how to acquire money, how to keep it, and how to use it.